Now let's review a few different deals of the week, some online deals.
Yeah, first what we're going to do is review a bad deal. We like reviewing good deals, but it's also interesting to go through and look at deals that are essentially bad, kind of what were they thinking. This is one of those type of properties. We can see the lot located there to the right-hand side. We can see it's not really that big, and it's kind of got a weird shape to begin with to only be 1/14 of an acre. We can also see the land value there, it being pretty low and it bidding quite a bit higher.
Yeah, I mean, it already kind of had a higher minimum bid of $5,000 compared to its value, meaning that it was already underwater. It was kind of upside down. And then some bidders, got competitive about it and bid it up to 27,000 beyond that. That's all just totally wasted money because if you go and look at this property, in fact, which we did. One of the things you would find is that it, if you were to look at even a topographic map, it would show you that there is a huge elevation, drop right from the point where our property starts and to the end. It's basically our whole property's on a hill.
Yeah, in fact, if we look at the overhead map, we actually included, you can see kind of the brown lines that are going through. You can see it kind of closer onto the road, but these actually have the elevation lines into it. And I think that it dropped, like about 40 or 50 feet over that entire period, and that's a very tiny lot. So first of all, we don't even have legal access to the property because we can see it's quite a ways further away from the road, and there's a number of different properties that are between us and the road. Second, it's not legal to build, not only because of the size being small, but also the shape. That only being 6,000 square feet, we can see that it's maybe 20 feet wide, and then it kind of goes out to a little bit thicker. Also, the topographical issues that Shay talked about. This is going to be located on a hill. So this was sold at the Los Angeles sale this last year in December, and this essentially was a property where whoever spent that $27,000 lost their money. And we can see that there was 82 bids on this property. And so just doing some basic research, you would know that you'd want to avoid this property. Why they bought the property, we really don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, other than maybe it looked like a decent piece of land from the overhead map. And people got into a bidding war. That's about the only thing I can think of, because anytime you bid up, I mean, the minimum bid up, 5 times over, up to 27,000, starting off at 5. You're probably bidding up the property beyond where you should be.
Well, I mean, even the value of it, they have land that's junk property that's higher value. The value of it at $3,000 through the county assessed shows that it's a risky property. This is another property that was offered, and this one, it's possible that it could have been usable. This one, when we wanted to show it kind of use as an example of one that could be usable, but got bid up to an incredibly high rate. You can see that the property is actually a vacant land, and if we look here at this lot, it's actually, you can see the vacant lot. I think it's the third one, or kind of right there in the middle. You can kind of see it between two of the homes there.
Oh yeah, I can see it there. It is kind of like right in the middle. You can see, they've got homes there nearly touching, and then there's a vacant lot right there, right in the middle.
Yeah, there's a couple cars parked right there in front of it. They ended up starting out at 21,000. It's only 48 by 90 feet. They do have an assessed value of 92,000. So it makes a little bit more sense why somebody might pay up for this property, because they see that land value. Well, the county thinks it's worth 92 grand. That last property, the county said it was only worth 3 grand. So the fact that this one has some type of value to it, it may or may not be buildable, but that's where we've got to check the zoning that we talked a little bit about earlier before buying this property, because it's a 50-50 shot that this is even usable. So they may have spent 136,000 to allow a couple of people to park on their vacant lot. They can't do anything with it. That's where the research becomes so important.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty challenging to to resell it, when you paid that kind of a price for it. Plus you're going to need to get title cleared because it still has all the title issues. It still has a clouded title. And so yeah, it just puts you in kind of a difficult situation with these. I mean, that's not necessarily a useless lot. It very well could be buildable. But even if it is buildable, I don't know that, it's a situation I would recommend any student to do. Because you've essentially paid market, for a piece of land, and it still has all of these issues. I think the idea, you see that $21,000 opening bid, I mean, once you've bid that up to even 50,000 and above, you're starting to get into territory where you're overpaying for a tax sale probably, and they definitely overpaid here. Going way over, even the assessed value, and they went 30% above the assessed.
Well, and one thing that's interesting about this property as well is this isn't just your normal neighborhood building lot. We can see underneath the legal description over on the left-hand side in the middle that it says TR 335 Lot 1 Condo Unit 118 airspace and then 131st interest in common area, which means that this is a condo, essentially a condominium type home. So they're single family homes, but they're set up in an association. And so, this is one where we'd call and talk to the association. They could probably give us an idea if it's buildable. But the question I have when I see something like this is why hasn't anyone built on that property, or why wasn't it originally built when this development was first created? So, if this development looks like it's got to be at least 20 years old, I would assume, I guess we could look at the years built, but let's say it's 20 years at least, why hasn't anyone built that lot there where you can see that the homes there are premium, everything but that lot has been filled in?
Yeah, I mean, it is only 4,320 square feet. It is tiny. Really, it is not very much. So, yeah, lots of questions on that one. But